My name's Garner. I'm running for the United States Senate, and of course I have a series of reasons for doing that. But the top-notch reason I'm doing that is that I'm running against Ben Cardin as a Democrat. And Ben Cardin voted for the three basic elements that caused the Great Recession. Now you can fit these into however you want in the Constitution and whatnot, but the first part of this was he voted for NAFTA. And what happened to that is that completed a series of efforts by the government to create unlimited free trade. We've lost 2/3 of our manufacturing since then, okay? Ben Cardin voted for NAFTA. I will tell you this, that if you want to add value to the economy, the way you add value to the economy is you create a product, you put energy into it, you put intuition, science, everything, okay? That becomes something valuable. And we're sending all that overseas. When you manufacture a product, 30 to 99% of the technology is in the manufacturing, okay? Serious problem when we start sending things overseas. What's happened, and you can look at the numbers, but we're losing our middle class. The reason we're losing our middle class, they have no place to work. And what we're doing is we're bringing in goods and services from out of the United States. Now I'm for free, but fair trade, okay? The most important part about that is that we need a balance in what we do. If you go to my website, there is a chart on there I call a Wheel of Fortune. I would like you all to go see that, okay? The Wheel of Fortune represents the political spectrum. Interestingly enough, the left and the right meet at the bottom. And that's failure of a nation. And if you start looking at this from those eyes, you'll see that you can go too far to the right as well as too far to the left. And I like to think that what I'm about has to do with the top center. And I'm not going to talk about that anymore, but there's a copy of that. Let me know what you think about it. You just go to Garner for Senate, go on the web page, you can send me anything you want, okay? I did place second in the Democratic primary against Mikulski with the same information. I know a little bit better how to run now. Anyway, the second thing that created the Great Recession was this continuing improvement on the Community Reinvestment Act of 1977. Eventually, what that has done is bankrupted so many of our middle class, they're now poor. The idea was that originally we wanted to get lenders into areas of cities that were redlined. And what's happened there is that we've gone in there, money's gone, maybe we have new houses. We've got a backlog of houses that are probably 2 years old, right? Throughout the entire time that George Bush was in office, an interesting economic statistic always came up, and that was housing starts. And we thought we had a good economy, but what we were doing, we were borrowing money. And that money was creating this economy, okay? And, gee, we get to the end of that borrowing and we don't have anything. We have a lot of worthless trash. We have homes nobody can live in. We've got people with no jobs. We've imported millions upon millions of illegals into this country as a cheap labor source, and guess what happens? They're still here. 53% of these illegals collect welfare. We can't afford to pay our own people. Serious problem. And we can continue on with this, but let me go to the third reason why I have a certain amount of time left. And that is that the third reason, of course, is illegal immigration. What's happened, once again, is created, well, let me just say, we had middle-class families. We had people going out and being able to earn a living, carpenters, okay, landscapers, all kinds of the building trades. And what's happened is that with an unlimited labor supply, you've undercut all these people's jobs. And now they're earning less, easily a third of what they used to be able to earn. And that's what happens. Now keep in mind, bringing people into this country illegally was something that both parties did. It's a two-party problem, okay? The first part of it, of course, on the side, well, I'm just going to use right and left, but on the left, let's say the right side, we brought in all these illegals, so we have cheap factory workers, cheap supply of labor. Once again, guess what happens to our people? The income falls, people get poor. On the other side, the unions are looking upon this group of illegals as a means of shoring up their lagging support. Unfortunately, the biggest supplier of money to elections are these same unions. And unless we solve this great recession, you don't have to worry about the Constitution. Okay? It won't exist. Now, I'm going to digress a little bit more and go into health care. And I have a 7-point health care plan on my website. And I talk about reducing the cost of health care. Now, I believe that everybody has to buy insurance for the following reason. When you walk into a hospital, every hospital is required to accept you whether you have money or not. Now, if you take that requirement away, I'll say you don't need to buy health care. And that's kind of important. Now, let me tell you a little bit about myself. I'm a registered engineer in this state. Graduate of the University of Maryland. I went to Bowie High School. Both my parents were combat veterans. I showed up in 1957 at age 6 in Germany. I saw the devastation, let's say 1/3 of the devastation that war causes. I lived where every third house was a holding ground, okay? And with that devastation and just solving, well, two things. Germany was wiped out in World War II. Germany just also recombined. Germany is also one of the most financially well-off countries in the world right now. And if we would have either avoided in the last 6 years, the $3 trillion we sent overseas, if we would have prevented that money from going overseas, we would have been in the same shape as them, or they are today. I need a little water, but anyway, the point is, if we would have not had this Community Reinvestment Act, we would have been solvent also, okay? And you know, it's a serious problem. One is a kind of a right-leaning thing. The other one's kind of a left-leaning thing. This is where Keynesian, with the Community Reinvestment Act, Keynesian economics took off, and nobody stopped it. Meanwhile, Friedman economics took off, and nobody stopped that. If you go back to the Wheel of Fortune, we're running around both sides of that curve as fast as we can. And we're going to get to the bottom, unless somebody gets in there. Look, thanks.
Thank you.